na ba ang usap-usapan sa buong Pilipinas ngayon? Ito, panoorin natin.
Ang 1.8 billion na pagtatanong ko po, Your Honors, Mr. Chairman, ay hindi po threat to national security kapag ito po'y tinatanong ng mga media practitioners at ng mamamayan patungkol sa tamang pangangalaga sa pundo ng bayan. And I believe Congress is not exempted from public transparency and accountability in the disposal of public funds.
Alam po ninyo.
It's not an issue of public national security. I feel, and it is my right to state before this committee and the August Chamber of Congress, that this committee is not above the law. No one in government is above the law. We are a government of laws.
So bago po tayo magpatuloy, papanoorin muna natin ang punot dulo ng lahat. Ang segment kung saan tinanong ni Ka Eric ang 1.8 billion travel expenses ni House Speaker Martin Romualdez.
1.8 billion ang travel cost niya.
Nako.
1.8 billion pesos.
For how long?
For almost 1 year lang.
For the entire Congress.
Sa kanya lang.
Sa
His
kanya lang?
office? Kaya nagtatanong itong ating source from Congress.
Is that true?
1.8 billion. Sabi niya, pakitanong ka Eric at paki-explain din. At pakitanong kay Secretary Belica. Miss Ina, ito ay break-in information coming from Congress mismong source.
No, because the 1.1 billion of the DNNR, that's the entire department.
Yeah.
But you're saying now, Eric, that 1.8 billion is just the office of the Speaker for travel?
Which is a question posed to us by the source from Congress.
Yeah, I mean,
That needs to be explained.
the Speaker should explain, no?
Yes.
He should confirm or deny and then give an explanation.
Give an explanation kung
Yeah.
totoo ito. Kasi sabi niya, baka humigit pa ka Eric, kung i-factor in Secretary Belica, ang current baka umabot ng 2 billion ang gastos sa travel ni Speaker Martin Romualdez at ng kanyang mga entourage. Miss Ina.
Wow.
Okay, dahil usaping...
How do you do that? How do you spend almost 2 billion for travel? How do you do that? That's hard. Hindi ka na uwi sa bahay mo.
Grabing shopping.
Ganon. Tsaka maraming yung entourage, ganon.
Entourage.
Yan ang dapat ipaliwanag nila.
Holy crap.
Itanong natin yan kay Secretary
Yes, and-
Commissioner.
Ang sakit.
Today's meeting, we have the following members in attendance. We have the Vice Chairperson, Representative Charity Pimentel, Representative Jerbil Luistro, Representative Stella Luz Kimbo, Representative Robert Ace Barbers, Representative Joseph Stephen Paduano, Representative David J.J. Suarez, Representative Ramon Rodrigo Gutierrez, Representative Alan T., Representative Agustina Dominique Pancho. We also have Representative Alfred de los Santos, Representative Francisco Jose Matugas, Representative Toby Chanco, Representative Alfred, Representative Faustino Inodi, Representative Ricardo Cruz Jr., Representative Dan Fernandez, Representative Christian Navia, Representative Romeo Acop, and Representative Antonio Ferreira.
Source persons. For the resource persons.
For our resource person from KDP, we have Attorney Rudolph Steve Hularbal. From the MTRCD, we have Attorney Cesar Pareja. From the MTRCB, we have Attorney Abubakar Johari and Mr. Bobby Diciembre from NTRCB as well. We have from NTC, the Deputy Commissioner Alvin Blanco. From SEC, we have the General Counsel, Attorney Ronald Padilla, and Attorney Gerard Del Rosario. And with them, we have Attorney Mazer Martin Carnel. From the SMNI, we have Attorney Mark Tolentino, Attorney Rolex Suplico, Miss Lorraine Badoy, and Mr. Jeffrey Celis. Oh, may we also recognize Honorable Lex Anthony Collada, a member of the committee. And we also have from NTC, Attorney Andy Castillar. And also we invited again Attorney Rico Domingo from the MAD. Thank you. Thank you.
David J.J. Juarez.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Mr. Chair, I just want to start off from where we ended last hearing with regards to the news that Jeffrey Celis mentioned in their program. Mr. Celis, are you with us today?
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. When we ended our hearing last week, the statements I released was that we were treading in very dangerous grounds as the source, the resource person mentioned that his source emanated from the Senate. And I felt that it was important for us to determine who that source was because it was also determined in last hearing that the statements issued by Mr. Celis in his program was false. And if indeed it is from the Senate, interparliamentary relations between the House and the Senate are now put in question. Because parang lumalabas, may nagli-leak ng hindi makatotohanang balita mula sa Senado patungkol sa House of Representatives. At nung December 3, if I may be allowed, Mr. Chair, Senate President Subiri issued a statement. And if I may be allowed to read, he stated, "I have no knowledge whatsoever of anyone from the Senate leaking information to any reporter on any House matter. Until the concerned resource speaker names a Senate employee, there is no reason to believe that these allegations are anything more than intrigues being sown to create controversy and fake news. We respect interparliamentary courtesy and would not want to put a rift in the strong partnership that we have with the House, with the leadership and the members of the House. I would suggest that the House continue the investigation until they get to the bottom of this accusation and press for the concerned person to reveal the name of their alleged source in the Senate. Otherwise, the House can cite them in contempt. If they can prove it's an employee of the Senate, then we will initiate disciplinary action on those involved." Quote unquote from Senate President Miguel Subiri. So now, Mr. Celis, I would just like to reiterate my question. The source, please.
Mr. Chairman, honorable members of this committee, may I be allowed, please, to manifest a statement of clarification before I proceed to answer the question of Honorable Congressman J.J. Suarez, because I believe that the statement that I am going to make as an opening premise to the answer that I should be giving to the Honorable Congressman will settle everything and clarify before the nation a very important statement that I want to make. Mr. Chairman, may I be allowed, please?
Before I allow you, I'd like to remind everyone that your oath
Yes.
has been administered in the last session, and this it will continue up to today.
Yeah.
So you're under oath.
Yeah.
So lahat pong sabihin po natin ay ang katotohanan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I proceed, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, you may.
Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Honorable ako.
Meron pong katanungan si Honorable Suarez, di po ba?
Opo.
Hindi ba dapat sagutin lang ng resource person or witness yung katanungan muna
Okay.
bago siya mag-explain? Mr. Chair.
Thank you for the reminder, Congressman Hakop, sir. And to the members of this committee, I feel, and it is my right to state before this committee and the August Chamber of Congress, that this committee is not above the law. no one in government is above the law. We are a government of laws. I am protected under the Sotto Law. I have the constitutional right. I requested per record that I may be given competent advice and assistance of a legal counsel, and such right is guaranteed by the Constitution. And such right is also stipulated clearly in Section 12 of the Governing House rules pertaining to committee hearing and conduct of investigation. And even if I am not in a court trial, the right to seek out counsel advice and assistance from a counsel is a part of principle of due process, a principle guaranteed by the Constitution. And I believe before I'll answer any further question, may I manifest respectfully and humbly before this committee that all the statements, even after under oath, in the absence of competent legal advice and assistance previously, may be granted to be stricken off the record because I believe my constitutional rights were violated.
Point of order. The answer manifestation of Mr. Sellers is out of order. He is out of order because you cannot dictate in this house and you cannot move. Only members of you ask members of this house.
Yes, I am explaining, sir.
No,
I am not moving.
no, your manifestation is out of order.
I am
Do
requesting.
not picture out.
No, I am not
about the rules
lecturing.
of this
I am
committee
standing
and
up for my right.
Mr.
I am standing up for my right.
Remember,
Bakit?
we might cite you in contempt.
And so be it,
Kyle,
Your Honor.
You challenge us?
Yes, if
What's
that
the
will
question,
be
Mr.
seen in the nation na walang karapatan ang mga invited guests dito na magpahayag, Your Honor, with due respect to you.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Seman,
Mr. Chair,
I'm moving out of order. And what's the position of the chair?
Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair,
Mr.
Mr.
Chairman,
Chair,
Sandali lang po.
Mr. Chairman.
Eric,
may I explain why
yes, the Honorable Akop is recognized and I understand yung sinasabi po ni ng ating mga ng ating bisita. Pero alam po ninyo, kung ang ginagamit niyo po ay yung hearing nung huli at wala kay representasyon, hindi po namin kasalanan. Kasalanan po ng mga abogado ng SMNI dahil sila mismo on record ang nagsabi na they are here to represent SMNI and not the anchors because dumistansya nga ho sila. Ang sabi nila, hindi po namin trabaho ang bigyan ng representasyon ang anchor. That's why nung humingi po kayo, ang pinaliwanag ko, hindi ho pwede sila magdepensa sa inyo. Dapat ho humingi kayo ng iba. Dahil hindi ho pwede sila ang magdepensa because they are on record. Under oath, ang sabi nila, kami abogado ng SMNI at hindi kami abogado ng mga anchor. Klaro po yan, Kyrick.
Your Honor, if I may please.
Well, you cannot. You're not allowed. I'm going, yes.
to explain why I cite him out of order. Because he manifested that the previous records, it is taken out of records. And as resource person, they are not allowed.
Your Honor, I am going to be detained in this chamber and I am submitting myself before the country in protest.
Mr. Chair,
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Mr. Chair,
Point of order. Mr. Chairman.
Order.
Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Okay. There's a point of order, the Honorable Dan Fernandez. The Honorable Dan.
Mr. Chairman, point of... Mr. Chairman. Out of order is all about your manifestation to straighten out. Patapusin mo ako.
The Honorable.
Huwag ka may bastos. Patapusin mo ako. Mr. Chairman, I will just like to correct. I am not stopping him to issue statement. What I'm saying is, and what I'm pointing out over there is the manifestation that the previous statement and the previous record should be taken out of order. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, allowed to do it. Point of order.
Honorable Dan Fernandez, for the point of order.
May we remind the resource speakers and the members of this committee to observe the proper decorum.
Correct.
If the chairman acknowledge a certain personality, let him speak and
Yes.
don't interrupt
Correct.
the members of this committee while
Correct.
the member is given the right to speak. Maraming salamat po, Mr.
Thank you,
Chairman.
the Honorable Dan Fernandez. Honorable Akop is recognized.
Mr. Celis, please be reminded that in this committee and this house, we have rules to follow. Hindi po ba namin sinusunod yung mga rules? Matanong ko nga po.
Yes, sir. I feel that is
I
my...
would like to remind you that these rules are supposed to be followed by members of this committee and by the witnesses or resource persons to be present. And one of these rules is that before you can speak, you ask permission from the chairman. Kami nga, hindi kami nagsasalita na walang permission yung chairman. You better follow that rule. Otherwise, baka mapilitan akong gawin yung hindi ko dapat gawin. Thank you.
The Honorable,
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Chair,
wait, I think the Honorable Ace Barbers.
I was raising a point of order earlier, but
I'm
Congressman
sorry, I
Akop-
didn't hear you that.
It's okay,
My
Mr.
apologies.
Chairman. Mr. Chairman, kasi gusto ko lang i-refresh yung memory ng ating resource person na no one is curtailing your right. In fact, kaya ka nga nandito, binibigyan ka ng panahon, ng oras para magsalita. But do not play to the crowd saying that your rights are violated in this committee. It's not. Tayo ay nasa demokrasya, di ba? I believe you were a former member of the NPA. Di ba? And alam mo kung ano yung pinaglalaban natin dito, di ba? So, never, ever insult the committee, much more any of the members of this committee. Kasi medyo yun ang affront. Yun ang affront sa amin. And do not challenge us to do what we feel is right to do to you because you might not like it. I am just going to remind him of that, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
The Honorable Ace Barbers. Any
Mr.
other
Chair.
member that would like to speak?
I believe that this is an aid or an inquiry in aid of legislation, and resource persons should be reminded that they should observe proper decorum. I'd just like to remind all the resource persons that under Section 11, this inquiry, or for that matter, Congress has the power to contempt. The committee may punish any person for contempt by a vote of 2/3 of the members present, there being a quorum. And there are 6 grounds for contempt, one of which is letter E, acting in a disrespectful manner towards any member of the committee or any misbehavior in the presence of the committee. So, Mr. Chair, we do not want to cite a resource person for contempt. Kaya nakikiusap kami sa iyo, Ka-Eric, na kung pwede, please respect this committee and observe proper decorum. Nasa rules po natin na you cannot speak if you are not recognized by the chair. Actually, naka-strike 1 na po kayo, Ka-Eric. Kanina, you were not recognized by the chair but you kept on talking. So again, may I advise Ka-Eric, we are not suppressing your rights, but also respect this committee and observe proper decorum.
thank you very much. Mr. Chair, if I may continue.
There was a question raised by the Honorable Suarez. Alam po ninyo, Eric, kung meron po kayong karapatan, may karapatan din pong committee. Lahat po tayo may karapatan dito. So, ang tanong ho, yes or no? May tanong si Congressman J.J. Suarez, huwag na ho natin pahabain. Yes or no?
I will refuse to answer, Your Honors, not because I disrespect this committee, but I will invoke my right guaranteed by the Constitution because I believe this committee cannot be above the law, especially the Constitution.
Can I just say,
Honorable
Sir Chair,
J.J. Suarez.
what right is that you are invoking, Mr. Celis?
The Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights guarantees me for the guarantee of due process and even the Sotto Law and even the House rules Constitution,
Yes.
constitutionally guaranteed rights, Your Honor, Mr.
Yeah.
Chairman, cannot
Mr.
be violated by any branch of the government.
Ka-Eric, may katanungan. Is that
Mr.
clear?
Mr. Chair-
Alam po ninyo, Ka-Eric, meron ba kayong kasamang abogado na yun?
May I answer?
Opo.
That's why I am requesting since last hearing that I may be given the counsel. Now,
Alam po
I will
ninyo,
hire
alam mo, if you keep going back, last hearing, ang tanong ko na yun.
Attorney Mark Tolentino and Attorney Rolex Soplico as my personal choice
Okay.
to do
So,
legal counsel.
everything that you say now is guided by your lawyer, who's
Yes.
also here.
Not yet, sir, because they are not, Mr. Chairman, permitted and granted authority to be recognized as my legal counsel. That's why I'm requesting. I'm hiring today, this afternoon, Attorney Mark Tolentino and Attorney Rolex Soplico.
The lawyers accepting that mandate, because you remember, in the last hearing, you manifested that you are not representing Eric and the anchors because of the disclaimer issue. Are you accepting?
I'm accepting, Your Honor.
Attorney Rolex Suplico.
I am accepting, Your Honor.
Okay, so thank you very much. So everything that will be said, go. Now, Eric, may abogado na po kayo. Yes or no?
May I request again,
Yes.
Congressman Honorable J.G. Suarez to refer to the
Chair,
question,
ayun.
please.
Now, with the presence of your lawyer, it's just a little bit ironic that in the past few days you've been on air talking about the hearing, talking about your opinions on about the hearing, and together with Attorney Mark Tolentino, I think there was a few episodes na magkasama pa kayong dalawa. So you're very vocal and you're very opinionated about your position. And last hearing, I just want to remind you, you apologized to the committee because the statements that you issued in your show, kasama ang bayan, tama po ba yan?
Yes, Your Honor.
Kasama ang bayan. Humingi ka man ng paumanhin dahil yung sinabi mong 1.8 billion ay walang katotohanan. Tinamin nyo yun. Ngayon, sinabi mo, ang source mo ay galing sa Kongreso. Sinabi ko mula sa House of Representatives, ang sabi nyo po ay hindi po House. Dalawa po yung House, Congress at Senate. Sinabi nyo, kinonfirm nyo na lalaki na taga-Senado. Ngayon po, naglabas na po ng statement, mismong Senate President na ang nagsasabi, hindi na ito nanggagaling sa amin. Although I am pressing hard that I want you to reveal that source because we want to find out the truth. Mr. Celis, the truth. And nothing is more important than the truth. So I'm asking you nicely, who is your source?
May I qualify, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, may I be allowed to speak?
Yes, but before that, I'd like to remind you and the lawyers that under Section 13, the participation of counsel in this hearing for the witness during the hearing and while the witness is testifying shall be limited to advising the legal rights of the witness. Is that clear, Attorney Tolentino and Attorney Suplico?
Yes, Your Honor.
That was only limited to that. Wala ho tayong coaching dito, ha? Yes. Eric.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the recognition. Congressman Suarez, sir.
Please answer straight directly, ha? Wala ho tayong paligoy-ligoy na sagot ho dito.
Mr. Chair,
Okay.
can I say something
Yes.
before you?
Point of order.
Yeah. No.
Go ahead.
No.
Please.
Just want to be enlightened. What is your decision regarding the prior motion made by Congressman Paduano on?
Well,
There's a motion.
was a point of order.
No.
He only made a point of order. So he was declaring him out
Thank
of
you.
order.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Yes, proceed. Yes or no?
Yeah, thank you po, Mr. Chairman.
Please answer directly, ha? Huwag po tayo masyadong
I will not answer it because I am protected by law as per advice in conference with my lawyers here. I am protected by the Sotto Law. Unless the Sotto Law is repealed, I will be under the protection of the Sotto Law. Republic Act number 53.
Mr. Chair, okay.
And the previous statements made, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, please, were made without the competent advice of legal counsel. That's why I was requesting humbly for this honorable committee chaired by Congressman Tambunting that all those testimonies regarding the testimonies I made here can be stricken off the record if it may be considered as a request. Because those are inadmissible.
Ang tanong po, alam nyo, lagi nyo sinasabi Sotto Law. Anong pong portion ng Sotto Law ang tinutukoy ho niyo? Anong particular provision sa Sotto Law? Pakibasa po.
I will, Mr. Chairman, I will request my counsel to give me the particular provision, or they may be allowed to reference the particular provision.
We are requesting you.
I don't have the copy of the Sotto
Then
Law.
I will suggest that the council give him a copy of the Sotto Law. Because we do not, you're only supposed to, like I said earlier, hindi ho kayo pwede magsalta. Ayan magsalta si Eric.
Mr. Chairman, may I be allowed to read the pertinent provision from the Sotto Law? Without prejudice, this is section 1 of 1145 as amended. Without prejudice is inability or ability under the civil and criminal laws, any publisher, owner, or duly recognized or accredited journalist, whether reporter, writer, contributor, opinion writer, editor, columnist, manager of media, or other media practitioner involved in the writing, editing, production, and dissemination of news or mass circulation of any print, broadcast, wire service organization, or electronic mass media, including cable TV, television, and its variants, cannot be compelled to reveal the source of any news item, report, or information appearing or being reported or disseminated through other or the said media which was related in confidence or reported in confidence. Above mentioned media practitioners, unless the court or the House of Representatives or the Senate or any committee of Congress finds that such revelation is demanded by the national security of the state.
Eric, Your Honor. Pero may magtanong po, Chair, para maliwanag.
Mr. Chairman, can I explain the provision?
Well, I will have to answer first the position raised by the witness. Ang unang provision sinabi nyo, accredited journalist. Kayo ba'y accredited journalist? Eric, kayo po ang tinatanong po. Kayo po ba'y accredited journalist?
The accreditation or the license to practice journalism does not require any particular organization or government entity to give us license or accreditation for broadcast. If you are referring, Mr. Chairman, to KBP, membership to KBP is voluntary. KBP is not an absolute regulatory power for broadcast. So we are like an NGO and private organization.
Ano pong basihan nyo, basihan ng provision niyan, nung sinabi niya kailangan accredited, kayo nag-cite ng batas. Kayo nag-cite ng prohibition.
Mr. Chairman,
accredited journalist, hindi ho kayo, sino dapat mag-accredit sa inyo?
SMNI is an accredited and franchise-granted media. And therefore, the prerogative in the decision for editorial decision who can broadcast or cannot broadcast in their station rests with the franchise granted to them. Therefore, hindi po kami required na maghingi ng pahintulot sa gobyerno na mag-broadcast kami doon. Dahil kami po ay bahagi ng isang media organization na may legitimate existence as granted by franchise.
Yes, but remember, may disclaimer. Ang sabi ng SMNI, hindi po nila pananagutan ang gagawin nyo. At hindi na nga raw kayo empleyado, sabi nila. So, ergo, hindi ho namin agad-agad kaya tanggapin yung inyong mungkahi. Pangalawa, I would like to remind you that this is a house inquiry which is provided for by the Sotto Law. And third, tatanungan ko, security of state, binanggit nyo. Ano po ibig nyo? Ito ba ay security of state? Tingin nyo itong issue to, which is an exception?
Ang 1.8 billion na pagtatanong ko po, Your Honors, Mr. Chairman, ay hindi po threat to national security kapag ito po'y tinatanong ng mga media practitioners at ng mamamayan patungkol sa tamang pangangalaga sa pundo ng bayan. And I believe Congress is not exempted from public transparency and accountability in the disposal of public funds.
Alam po ninyo,
It's not an issue of public progress or security.
alam po niyo yung security of state sa amin. Ito po yung sinabi nyo na empleyado ng Senado ang nagbigay. Sa amin, yan po ay seguridad ng ating institusyon, seguridad ng ating bayan. So kaya po, ito po ay hindi nyo po pwede i-cite ang Sotto Law. Mabuti po, malaman nyo na po ang posisyon. At ito'y pinag-aralan po natin, may abogado po kayo, meron din po kami mga abogado dito, may mga researchers po kami. At ang Sotto Law ay hindi po applicable dito sa sinasite nyo. Sa tatlong tinanong ko, pare-pareho, hindi ho pa pwede yan. The Honorable J.J. Suarez,
Thank you very much.
you are recognized.
So thank you very much, Mr. Chair. So let's just go back to points that have already been established. Number one, the statement that you issued were false. You admitted it and you apologized for it last hearing. Number two, you mentioned that your source is from Senate. And Caselis, Mr. Celis, the law that you have just stated that you sought to use to protect your right and not to reveal your source apparently has been ruled cannot be applied. So therefore, I'm asking you again, dahil may kinalaman na may mabigat po ang kinalaman ang repercussions nito You're talking about interparliamentary relationships between the House of Representatives and between the Senate. And none other than the Senate President has already issued a statement about this. So I don't think you see the gravity of the statements that you have issued between both houses in Congress. Now, Mr. Celis, for the last time, please identify your source.
Mr. Chairman, may I be allowed to answer?
Mr. Chair, this is the fourth time I asked Mr. Celis this question. And every time I asked him this question, ang laki ng introduction, wala pa rin yung sagot. Pwede po ba this time, pag pinagbigyan natin siya magsalita, sabihin niya na po yung pangalan?
Kasi kung mag-introduction lang kayo, tapos i-cite nyo naman, dinisalaw ko na. Sinasabi ko na hindi namin kayang tanggapin yung Sotto Law for this particular issues. And we provided the basis for that too. Sa mga binigkas yung provision, doon ko mismo hinugot ko yung argumento namin. Ngayon, kung hindi ko yung sasagot, we will not allow you anymore. Kasi nagre-request na si Congressman Suarez ng kasagutan, pangalan ang kailangan niya.
Okay. Mr. Chairman,
Magbibigay po kayo mo ng pangalan o hindi?
may I request that I be allowed to confirm with my legal counsel, please?
O they're right beside you, they can confirm.
May I request for at least a
Yes.
1-minute conference with them?
Please.
Okay. In our constitutional democracy, only the courts can interpret the laws, not Congress.
Okay.
So I will not answer that question because I believe Congress does not have the right to interpret laws.
Okay.
It is with
Mr. Chair,
Congress to pass laws, not to interpret laws.
Mr. Chair.
po.
I make back my statements.
Mr. Chair,
Okay,
Mr.
the
Chair.
Honorable Toby Chanco is recognized.
Mr. Chair, in the sense of fairness, since we really want to know the source, para malaman natin kung ano talaga yung pinagkakalat nito, would we allow Mr. Celis, Eric, to reveal the source in executive session? Would the chair allow?
Yes, Eric. Is an executive session an option for you? There's a suggestion by the Honorable Toby Chanco of Navotas na kung ayaw niyo po sabihin sa harap ng camera at sa publiko, okay lang ba, executive session? We will call for executive session now. Para lahat ho ng options ay binigay na po namin sa inyo. Eric.
That would be very dangerous for other media practitioners present here because it will create a very dangerous and negative precedence on the protection of source provided by law. I will refuse still.
Salamat po.
Mr. Chair,
The Honorable Toby Chanco is still recognized for a follow-up question.
No, I just wanted to manifest that the reason that we're suggesting an executive session is to show na tayo naman, hindi naman tayo, na binibigyan natin siya ng pagkakataon na i-reveal. Kung talagang gusto niya pangalagaan, at least an executive session. But it seems ayaw niya pa rin po, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, it is very clear that Mr. Celis does not want to answer the question to reveal the source, whether in this inquiry or in executive session. So therefore, Mr. Chair, under Section 11, the power to contempt, letter E, grounds for contempt is for a resource person refusal to answer any relevant inquiry. Actually, Mr. Chair, Mr. Celis has already violated two provisions of Section 11. The first one, acting in a disrespectful manner, and the second one, which is very more important rather, is his refusal to answer the question in a relevant inquiry. On this note, Mr. Chair, I move to contempt, to cite for contempt Mr. Celis for on these two grounds under Section 11. So move, Mr. Chair.
Second the motion.
There's a motion, duly seconded. Any objections from any member, Mr. Chairman, of this committee? There being no objections, on a unanimous vote, the Eric is cited for
Mr. Chairman, may I be recognized?
Ask the Sergeant of Arms to please take
Mr.
Chair,
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Chairman,
can we request the Sergeant at Arms to practice his responsibility after the hearing? Because there's still other details that...
Mr. Chair, point of order. The motion was for Mr. Celis to be cited in contempt. And I think there's supposed to be a second motion. Yes. No, the motion should be for him to be detained. Where? Because under our law, the contempt of the committee shall be deemed contempt of the House. The person cited in this section may, upon order of the committee, be detained in such place as the chairperson or acting chairperson may designate. In other words, we have to decide where to detain him and for how long, Mr. Chair. That's supposed to be the second motion. Mr. Chair, I believe with regards to the duration, it will be up to this committee to decide, and of course, to Mr. Celis, kung kailan po niya sasagutin yung tanong natin, and then maybe we could lift the contempt. But as long as hindi pa niya sinasagot yung tanong natin, the contempt will remain.
Mr. Chairman, final statement before niyo po ako ikulong.
Mr. Chair, I move for
Can I have a final statement, please?
Sir.
Before po ako magpapakulong, I request the committee.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chair. In an earlier motion, Mr. Chair, we have already approved to cite for contempt Mr. Celis. On this note, Mr. Chair, I move to detain him in the premises of Congress as per our rules on Section 11. So move, Mr. Chair.
The motion.
Mr. Chairman, sir.
Mr. Chairman, honorable members of the committee, may I begin in 1 minute, please?
In relation to the motion, can I have?
Because it is required.
The Honorable
Thirds of a voto.
Paduano is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, ang point of inquiry lang, kasi we are not allowed to have a detention for indefinite period of time. So we have to establish how long. And the lifting of such detention will depend on the members of this committee, of course, with the cooperation of the person in contempt. So we have to establish how long, because we are not allowed to detain indefinite based on so many jurisprudence, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, Honorable Akop is recognized.
Yes, there's a decision by the Supreme Court that we cannot detain a person indefinitely. And therefore, may I move that we come up with a definite period for detention insofar as Mr. Celis is concerned. For violation of paragraph C of section 11 of the rules.
Nakalagay doon, 10 days na. 10 days. 10 days na nakalagay. 10 days lang. The Honorable Akop, would you like to make a motion?
May I move that Mr. Celis be detained for being cited in contempt for violation of section 11, paragraph C, refusal to answer any relevant inquiry by the members of this committee for a period of 30 days.
Mr. Chairman?
He will go on break on December 30 unless he files a motion for reconsideration. We have done this in the different committees already.
Mr. Chair,
there's a motion. Honorable Puno't.
the reason why we cited Mr. Celis for contempt is because he does not want to answer the question. That is precisely why he violated paragraph C. So why will we give him a timeline kung kahit hindi pala siya sumagot? Papalabasin natin si Mr. Celis. The reason why we cited him for contempt gusto nga natin na sagutin niya yung relevant inquiry natin, nasagutin niya kung sino yung source niya. So I believe that we should not give a timeline, Mr. Chair.
After citing the jurisprudence, Mr. Chair, I submit to the wisdom of this committee.
Mr. Chairman.
So habang nagsi-session break ang Kongreso, magbabasa muna tayo ng mga comments sa live. Ayan, ito, di na rin matawag nag-gobyerno ito. Sir, Pimentel, discussion po yan sa court. Nagtatabaan na mga lumalamon ng tax natin. Ito pa, what is being shown in Congress is not good. It's unjust simply because, ayan, to all Congressman, all Filipinos, people are watching you all over the world. You can only remember us during election. Ayan, House of Representatives. This is abuse of power. Ayan, marami pang ibang mga comments dyan na mababasa nyo mga kaibigan. At kayo na po ang humusga sa ating Kongreso at kay Ka Eric ng SMNI kung sino ang tama sa kanila.
The due process was given to the witness and he was allowed to speak. And he cited his grounds why, as a matter of fact, we gave him so much airtime that he manifested his refusal to the question of the Honorable Suarez 4 times. And so, that being said, the chair would like to call the Honorable Pimentel to manifest his the motion on the time frame.
Mr. Chair, I would like to amend my previous motion. Therefore, Mr. Chair, I move to detain Mr. Celis, for he was cited in contempt until the adoption of the committee report at the plenary session, Mr. Chair. So move.
Okay. So that is also an amendment to the motion of the Honorable Akop early on. There's a motion amending the motion of the Honorable Akop. Any second? Seconded. The chair hearing no objection. The chair adopts and approves the motion of the Honorable Johnny Pimentel. So the Sergeant of Arms is hereby directed to enforce the decision of this committee.
Mr. Chair, can I make a comment, Mr. Chair?
Session suspended. Attorney to